This is the Pong series, where we modify the traditional Pong game by adding in multiple new features such as increasing the movement speed at times all the way up to cloning the objects to confuse the opponent. And in this video, we will be adding in the creative angles, flash elements and ball cloning. You will have to watch part 1 if you haven't already. We have made slight changes only to the name of the variables so that it's better understood. So this is creative angles. So far we've kept the velocity in terms of x to be equal to velocity y, and we would always end up at the direction like this each and every single time the game resets, and this is indicated by this green line. So the ball would make a movement direction like this, and then it resets to the center. Now this time, let's say I'm going to add in another statement. Let's say I'm going to keep velocity in terms of x to be 2 times velocity y, and then we would get an angle like this, so the ball would move in this direction. Now again, I will add in another statement, and this time I will keep velocity y to be 2 times velocity x, and we would end up with an angle like this, which is again indicated by this green line. Now the ball would make the movement like this. And what I'm going to do is also do this for the top side as well, so that in total we get 6 angles, and then provide the machine the choice to choose first the ball should move on the top side or should it move on the bottom side, and then choose the respective angle of the 3 choices that is provided. So let's take a look at the code implementation. Okay, so now we will have to import random, and then I will create 2 new variables, one for the direction at which the ball should move. We will randomize that with 0 and 1, 0 signifying top and 1 is going to signify bottom. We will do that for the angle as well. I will have 3 different angles. 0 will stand for y being 2 times of x, and 1 where x and y are the same, and 2 where x is 2 times of y. Now we will scroll down all the way to where we reset the game. So right around here, after retrieving the initial positions of the ball, we will now have to randomize where the ball will move, either the top side or the bottom side. So first, let's create a variable inside this and use the random.choice option to get a random choice of the direction. And similarly, we will do that for angle as well. Random.choice of angle, like that. Now I will first check for the direction. If direction equal to 0, that means that the ball will have to move top side, so we have to keep the velocity in terms of y coordinate to be negative. But first I will also check for the angle. If angle equal to 0, then that means y is going to be 2 times of x. So ball velocity y, comma ball velocity x will be negative 1.4, comma 0.7, followed by if angle equal to 1, then we can have both of them to be same. Ball velocity x will be negative 0.7, comma 0.7, like that. And if the angle is equal to 2, then ball velocity y, comma ball velocity x will be of the sorts where negative 0.7, comma 1.4, like that. Now I will copy this and do that for the downward direction as well, where direction equal to 1. I will paste it right around here, and then make direction to be 1, and then take off all of the negative signs, like that. And now, since we randomized the direction in terms of top side or bottom side, we won't need this anymore, whereas we will have to have ball velocity x. Clean this off. And for the right hand side, if the ball goes out of bounds from the left hand side, so the ball has to move towards the right hand side, so we can just copy this once again, right down from here all the way down here, Control C, and then I will paste it here. And we don't need to have in this statement because we want the ball directly to move towards the right hand side rather than changing the direction towards the left. So now when we run our code, we should get 3 different creative angles each time the ball is reset. So we will run our code and see. We see the first angle, we see the second one, and we see the third. Really nice. So the prompt for the flash gadget says that active, which again means that has to be manually activated by the user, and it says immediately after activation, the paddle should teleport itself towards the ball's current position in terms of the y coordinate. The logic for the flash element is just very simple. Let's take this for example. The ball is approaching downwards as well as the paddle, but For some case, if the paddle is unable to reach the ball, and if the splash gadget is being activated, then we simply use this statement. That is, we just change the paddle's y coordinate to where the ball's y coordinate is, and the paddle teleports itself to the ball's y coordinate like this. So let's take a look at the code implementation and see if this works. Now for the second gadget, we will check for the input from the user first, right around here. If i.key equal to pygame.left this time, k left, the left arrow key, and also make sure that right gadget remaining is greater than 0. Then we make right gadget to be 2, which signifies for the second gadget. We will do that over here as well. If i.key equal to pygame.a, okay, underscore a, like that. And we will also have to make sure that the left gadget remaining is greater than 0, like that. Then left gadget will be 2 in this case. Now we will go down to the gadget and action section, and over here we will check if left gadget 2, then we just make the left paddle y, that is the position of the paddle in terms of the y coordinate, to be the ball's y coordinate itself, like that. And now we will have to make the left gadget to be 0, and also subtract a number from the number of gadgets remaining. We will do that for the right hand side paddle as well. If right, we will use elif right gadget equal to 2, then make right paddle y to be equal to the ball's y coordinate, like that. Make right gadget to be 0, and also subtract a number from the number of gadgets remaining, like that. Let's run our code and see if the other gadget is working as well when we press the left arrow key, and it does. Really nice. We will do that for the left hand side paddle as well, and it works beautifully. Now when you look at the prompt for the cloning gadget, you see that it's active, and once activated, the next collision of the ball onto the paddle should clone the ball to confuse the opponent, one being original and the other one being duplicate. This is going to be the logic that we will be putting into this gadget. So if we take a look back, we have defined the reflection physics for the ball, we have also defined the collision physics for the ball, and we have also made sure that the movements are working properly. So what I'm going to do is just draw another circle for the entire game, and then put this on top of the ball such that it's just hidden behind it. And I'm going to put each and every single metric, the reflection, the collisions, and the movements, exactly to be the same as for the original ball. So that when the gadget is actually put into action, let's say that the ball is moving in this direction. So both the circles is just simultaneously going to move in this direction, and right as it approaches the paddle, let's say in this direction, it just does this. Both goes in different direction in terms of the y coordinate. This is just by changing the dummy ball's direction in terms of the y coordinate, and then they both go in different directions. One is going to be original and the other one is going to be duplicate, meaning that if the original ball comes in contact with the other paddle, then the reflections happen normally, whereas if the player 2 is confused and goes for the dummy ball, then it would do nothing, and then the game resets, giving player 1 the point. That's the whole point of having this gadget. Let's take a look at the code implementation of how this works. So we will have to make changes to all of the sections that is on your screen, and we will start with from the balls section. I'm just going to copy this and then paste it here. This is called the creation of the dummy ball X. So I'm just going to have dummy ball X as the prefix, dummy ball X. We'll do that over here as well. And over here as well. Nice. Now we will need to scroll down all the way to balls movement controls, and over here the logic is just going to be the same. Just going to copy the first if condition and then paste it. Just change the variable name to dummy over here as well, and then we will reverse the direction for the dummy ball velocity, like that. And then inside this, first we will have to retrieve the positions for the dummy ball as well. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here, change the variable names to dummy, and over here as well. And then right inside the if condition, I will actually copy this one as well and then paste it, change the names like that, and change the names to dummy ball velocity. We will do that over here as well. Similarly, we will do to this one. So after completing all of those, you will also have to remember that we have to change the direction in terms of the dummy ball as well. So I'm just going to paste this and change the name to dummy like that. And now we will have to do the same thing over here as well. Let's retrieve the positions by copying it and paste it here, and then change the names, dummy. And then get inside the if condition to change the ball velocities. We will do that over here as well. Copy this. Next, we will have to get to the paddles collisions, and inside the latest if, that is, the condition is just going to be the same. Rather than just changing the direction of the normal ball, we're also going to change the direction of the dummy ball as well with the same condition. So we're not going to declare that for the dummy ball, I'm just going to change the direction directly. If the original ball is in the contact of the paddles, then this ball, the dummy ball, also should reverse the direction. That's the logic. We will also have to do that over here, but before that, I will also retrieve the positions to keep that at the edge of the paddles. I'll paste this and then make this to be dummy ball like that. We will also have to do it over here as well. Now, before getting to the gadgets and actions section, all that we have defined so far inside the gadgets section is for the gadget pair 1. We will also have to do that for the second gadget, but before that we will have to ask the user on which gadget should they start with. So what I'm going to do is, before doing anything with Pygame, I will first declare the gadget pair. By default is going to be 1, and then I will ask for the input of the user. Input, enter your choice for gadget pair. And then what we will do is, actually first let me just convert this to int. And what we will do is we will first check for the condition if ch equal to 1, then we keep gadget pair to be 1, elif ch equal to 2, then we will keep gadget pair to be 2. Now that's decided, we will have to scroll down to gadgets and actions section. And inside this, what we will do is first copy all of this right around here and press tab, because what we will do is first check for the gadget pair. If gadget pair equal to 1, then we will execute all of the commands that is inside this. Elif gadget pair equal to 2, then we will have to start with the cloning section, that is ball cloning and paddle cloning. So what we will do is, as defined earlier, we're just going to change the dummy ball's direction when the gadget is actually activated. So what we will do is go to the left paddle collisions, and we will copy this and paste it here. Now, rather than just changing the direction in terms of the x coordinate, what we will do is we will also change the direction in terms of the y coordinate so that one ball will move towards the bottom side or the top side and the other ball will move to the exact opposite in terms of the y coordinate. So when we type in dummy ball velocity y, then multiply that into equal to -1. I forgot to mention one thing. The left gadget should be 1. Then we will execute this if condition. So we'll put this in tab. And then we will make left gadget to be 0. And then gadget remaining, left gadget remaining, negative equal to 1. We will simultaneously do that for the right hand side gadget as well. Tab, if right gadget equal to 1, we will copy from the right paddle collisions. Paste it here. And then what we will do is, again, change the dummy ball's direction in terms of the y coordinate as well, into equal to -1. And then make right gadget to be 0. And then also make right gadget remaining, negative equal to 1. And we will get to movements and also add this for the dummy ball as well. Dummy ball x plus equal to dummy ball velocity x, followed by dummy ball y plus to dummy ball velocity y. You will also have to draw the circle. So what we will do is I will copy this and then paste it over here maybe. Actually, I will paste it over here. Dummy ball section. Paste it here. Change this to dummy ball x. Change the name over here as well. Change this to like this. And now let's run our code and see. So first we will have to enter our gadget pair choice. I'm just going to keep this 2 because we're testing. We press enter. You see originally that the ball is going in the same direction and then we're not seeing the second ball. But then when you activate the gadget like this, you see 2 balls like that. Very nice. We will check that for the other side gadget as well. If I can hit. Yeah, it's working. Very good. In part 3 of this tutorial, let's make the paddles clone as well and end the game by adding in the scoreboard and end screen. It will be linked if it's released.